Once upon a time, in a small town full of sunshine, music, and friendly neighbors, something shocking happened, something no one could ever forget. It was a bright Saturday morning. Birds were singing, flowers were blooming, and a beautiful wedding was about to begin at the biggest church in town, Mount Miracle Chapel. Everyone was excited because this was no ordinary wedding. It was the wedding of Princess Bella, the most beloved girl in town. Bella wasn't a real princess with a crown, but everyone called her Princess because she was so kind, gentle, and beautiful. She helped old people cross the street, fed hungry dogs, and always shared her sweets with the other kids. Everyone loved her. Bella was getting married to Prince Teeny, a handsome, kind, and brave man who had just returned from helping build schools in a faraway village. Their love story was like a fairy tale, and this wedding had a happy ending. Or so everyone thought. The church was packed. Aunties wore shiny Jella head wraps, uncles wore sparkling agbadas, and children sat on the edge of their seats, eager to watch the bride walk down the aisle. Even the birds seemed to be chirping. Here comes the bride. Inside a room beside the church, Bella stood in front of a mirror, wearing a white gown that sparkled like the stars. Her best friend Mimi whispered, "You look like an angel." Bella smiled shyly. "I can't wait to see Teeny's face when I walk down the aisle." The music began. Dum dum dum, dum 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 dum. Everyone stood. The doors opened, and there she was, Bella, glowing like the morning sun, holding her bouquet of pink roses. Her father held her arm proudly as they walked slowly, step by step, down the aisle. People gasped, "She's so beautiful." Children whispered, "She looks like a fairy." And there, at the altar, stood Teeny, waiting with the pastor. His eyes sparkled with love. Everything was perfect, until she saw the pastor's hand. Bella's eyes, full of joy, suddenly stopped glowing. Her smile faded, her hands began to tremble. And then, in front of everyone, thud, she collapsed. People screamed, "Ah! Mama Bella fainted! Mugbe, water! Somebody bring water!" Teeny knelt beside her, shaking her gently. "Bella, Bella, can you hear me?" The choir stopped singing. The music stopped playing. The whole church froze in shock. Finally, Bella opened her eyes, but she didn't smile. She looked around slowly, and then stared again at the pastor's hand. And that's when she said, with a shaking voice, "Where did you get that ring?" The pastor, a tall man with a calm smile, looked down at his hand. On his finger was a strange ring, silver, with a red stone in the middle, glowing softly. He frowned. "This ring? I've had it for a long time. It was given to me when I was young." Bella sat up slowly. Tears filled her eyes. She pointed at the ring. "That ring belonged to my brother, my twin brother, the one who disappeared 6 years ago." "Gasp!" people whispered. "Disappeared? Her brother? What's going on?" Bella held up her necklace. Hanging on it was a tiny red stone, exactly like the one in the ring. "My brother and I had matching stones," she said softly. "He wore his as a ring. I wore mine as a necklace. We made a promise that no matter what happened, we would always find each other using these stones." The pastor looked confused. "My dear, I found this ring near the river when I was on a prayer retreat 6 years ago. I didn't know it belonged to anyone." Bella's lips trembled. "My brother was last seen near that river. We searched for weeks, months, but he was never found." People began whispering more. Some looked scared, some looked sad. But one old woman stood up slowly, holding a wooden walking stick. Her name was Mama Azin, and she knew many secrets. She pointed at the ring and said, "That ring is not ordinary. It is a ring of memory. It hides the truth and holds a secret." The pastor looked alarmed. "What do you mean?" Mama Azin walked slowly to the altar and whispered words in a language only old people knew. Then she said loudly, "Hold out your hand, pastor." He did. She tapped the ring 3 times with her stick. Flash! A bright red light burst from the ring. Everyone covered their eyes. When the light faded, the pastor stood frozen, his eyes wide. He stared into the distance, not moving. Mama Azin nodded. "The ring is showing him the truth." Then she turned to the crowd. 6 years ago, Bella's brother Benji saved a boy who fell into the river, but the river pulled him under. A fisherman found this ring floating by the bank. Bella gasped. "Benji didn't drown?" Mama Azin shook her head. "No, the river didn't take his life. It took his memories. When the pastor found the ring and wore it, it carried the memory of Benji, and slowly turned him into someone else. Everyone stared at the pastor, who now looked like he was waking from a dream. "I remember," he whispered, "a girl with a necklace, a promise." He looked at Bella, his eyes filled with tears. "Bella, is that you?" Bella stood up, her hands over her mouth. "Benji?" They ran to each other and hugged tightly. Tim, who had been silent the whole time, smiled through his own tears. "He's your brother. You found him." Everyone in the church began crying, happy tears. The choir started singing softly. Mama is in smiled. "The wedding can wait. Today we celebrate a reunion." Bella looked at Timmy and said, "Thank you for understanding. I need to spend time with my brother." Timmy nodded. "Of course, we have forever." And so the wedding was postponed, but no one was sad. In fact, people said it was the most beautiful day ever. Not because of flowers or cake or fancy clothes, but because a sister found her lost brother, and a spell was broken with love. From that day on, the pastor remembered who he truly was: Benji, the brave boy who risked his life to save another. He never forgot his sister again. And later that year, in another sunny ceremony, Bella and Timmy finally got married, with Benji as the one who walked her down the aisle. This time, she didn't faint.